Hello, everyone. This is Pedro. We're back with a brand new interview. I have here with me Larssen of Rogue, ahead of the start of the LEC 2024 Winter Split. Thank you so much, Larson, for taking the time and doing this interview. I really appreciate it. Back with Rogue, new season, new year, but after all this time, back with the same familiar organ team. Just to start off this interview, how's it feel to just wear the same old Rogue colors after all this time?
No, it feels amazing. Like it feels like I'm back home. It feels like comfortable. Like seeing when I log into the client to see my name RG Larson, it just feels right. Like RG comp, RG Larson, it just looks right, and it looks way more scary, I think, as well. Corey Larson didn't look scary, but RG Larson looks like way more scary. Uh, so it just, I mean, it feels really nice. Like it feels like good in the soul, like in the whole body.
Oh, for sure, it really does. Also bring back a lot of memories to what you've done with the Rogue uniform, Rogue colors, even before changing that for Koi. Um, and in doing so, you during the off season signed a contract extension with the team, and I just want to know like what made you want to, just continue with the team, return to org and stuff like that, for this season and then beyond.
I mean, I'm a very loyal like person. Like I've always been loyal to my teams. I don't know why. That's just how I am. Like it always felt like the right thing to stay. Like just like my gut feeling in my heart. I always wanted to stay, but always my contract was running out, so you never know what happens. Uh, I just felt like the right thing to do, and going back to Rogue is like it just feels right to me. Uh, like I want to be there when we go back to Rogue. So I don't know, it's not that complicated. I was like, it's just my home, right? So it's kind of natural.
Oh, for sure. And now then moving over to the 2023 season, I just want to know how you reflect back on that time with Koi, with all of the struggles that the team encountered, not really been not really being able to follow up the success from that Rogue 2022 team. But how do you look back on that Rogue on that Koi team from 2023? What do you think was like one of the biggest reasons as to why the team wasn't able to do well on the domestic front?
It was a complicated year. Uh, uh, I don't know. I think a lot came also from having the success well in 2022. Felt like people became a bit lazy and maybe like a bit cocky that because 2022, like even if we won LEC in summer, we were still struggling as a team at some points, like struggling a lot in scrims, losing many scrims, and I felt like from like Worlds we went to quarterfinals and LEC champion. Felt like we thought that even if scrims were not going well, we were still like we were like solve it on stage, like we will still win on stage. But that you can't like keep having bad scrims for a long period of time. Like it's not gonna work out in the long run. Uh, I think that was a big part of it, like some complacency. Uh, and from that point on, we just didn't recover. And we're just like behind other teams uh, from like earlier on in the year.
Yeah, and as a result of that, you guys made changes to the lineup, bringing in Markoon and Zoelys, two new faces to the team, in addition to those that returned to the lineup from the Koi iteration, including yourself. And so, what's it been like just trying to fit in with Markoon and Zoelys during the off season? What was the biggest focuses from your perspective as to trying to build up to that same level as it was back in the past?
The most important thing is to just get like good habits from scrims, right? Like training scrims is the most important thing. Uh, so that's where all the work needs to be done to have like really serious scrims, like really serious. And with Markoon and Zoelys, I think are like two players that can be like top players in the role, which was very important to me. Uh, when I saw a lineup, I feel like everyone in my team can be like top players, which is the most important thing because then we can like contest G2 and like fight for the title. Obviously, things can always go wrong, right? But I feel like we have a big potential in the team. It's just about using it well, right?
Yeah, and focusing specifically on Zoelis, it's one that it's his first go in the LEC. And how have you been viewing his contribution and his like development so far in the off season and before the start of the actual season itself? From someone like him, a young talent who's going to start competing in LEC.
We're all only been screaming for like a month, right? So he still has like a lot to learn. In 1 month, you don't get to improve that much. So definitely like still have a lot to learn. But that's something we need to help him with, as we're all like more experienced players. But he is like a player that he is very humble and very easy to work with, and he has like the mindset to improve. So I don't think it would be hard for him to improve. When you have the right mindset, it can usually go pretty fast because he has like the talent, right? Uh, so yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for him. It was like a player last year when Trimby left after spring. I was already scouting Sveles quite a lot, and I was really impressed with him, considering like how new he is to the scene. Like last year was his first real year, kind of like in the LFL. Uh, so it's definitely very impressive, like how fast he became like this good.
And what about you specifically during the off season? What has been some of the things that you felt you had to tweak to your game um, uh, uh, at that same time frame?
Uh, Mostly it's just about I mean, I talked about it a lot already, but just having better focus in scrims again. To like, yeah, that's about it. Like just to take scrims way more serious, and then you will learn a lot from that and like improve from that. Yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing. But otherwise, I feel like I'm pretty happy like with how I'm playing. So I don't need to like change too much because I'm very confident in myself that I can be the best mid laner in EU. So I don't feel like I need to change too many stuff. Just keep going and not like get lazy or complacent or anything.
So how much confidence do you feel you have with this team compared to how it was with the core lineup as the year progressed from last season?
Could you repeat it? I was a bit out of it.
Yeah. So that said, with the team's development throughout the off season, how much confidence do you feel you have with this team relative to the previous iteration back in Koi?
I mean, I had a lot of confidence in the old iteration as well. So I was very confident last year, but I still knew like we had some issues last year in the environment, which I knew would be hard to fix, which made me like less confident last year than I should have been. And this year, I feel like the environment is very nice. Markoon and Zoelys are very easy to work with and very funny guys. So that like makes me more confident that we will like improve as a team. Because last year we were not really improving as a team because we didn't have like the best environment or like team culture.
Do you think do you think that this team will has the potential to recapture the old Rogue magic per se success as it was back in those earlier days in the first stint overall of the team?
For sure, yeah. If I didn't believe in the lineup, I wouldn't be here, right? So I believe like a lot in lineup. That's also why I stayed. I think the roster is very promising. So yeah, I mean I have very high hopes. I feel like top two should be very achievable. Then we have G2 Red who are the kings. And, we'll see how we get along.
Yeah, and one more final question before we wrap it up. You already alluded to it in that answer you just said just now, but what are your personal expectations for yourself and the team for 2024, and also for the winter split? Because that's obviously the first thing that that you're gonna have to tackle in this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting a good start is important, but most important thing is that we just keep improving and that we play good League of Legends. Last year we didn't really play good League, and it's like I can't really put some result focus on the year. Like we just need to make sure we play good Legends, and then that will take us where it takes us, right? Like we just need to reach our full potential, and then we see how far we go, right?
We'll see how Rogue goes indeed once the season does kick off. Larson, thank you so much for taking the time and doing this interview.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.